If you like something that's being said and want to show your approval, up high. If you do not like what is being said, down low. If you have a direct response to something someone has said, meaning specifically factual information, the meeting is at 6. No, the meeting direct response. The meeting is at 7. It's not just to start an open dialogue and argue back and forth. Only factual information.
Point of process.
I'm getting there. This means talk louder. Okay, we've got point of process. If someone's holding this up, it means that we are getting off topic. If we're talking about sleeping tonight, and someone raises their hand and gets in stack and starts talking about the issues with food, point of process so we can get back on track.
Clarification.
Thank you. Clarification if you don't understand what someone has said or you need it explained better. And a person on staff will call on you for that.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Obviously, if you're running long, you can be concise. You can come up here.
Oh, and just raising your hand for...
Regular.
Oh, okay.
If you really don't like what's being said, and you will, in regard to a proposal or an agenda item, and you will leave the group if it is consensus upon, this means block. At that time, our vice watcher will take you aside, and you all can have a one-on-one and see if the issue can be resolved, and see what compromises can be made. If no compromise can be made, then we go with modified consensus and take a 9/10 vote, so 90%. And I believe that is all the hand signals. I'm the facilitator today. It's not like an in-charge position. It's just to help keep flow. I'm Caleb. Taking time. Today's keeping time. For our agenda items, we set time so that we don't run too long and try to keep things tight.
I didn't do it.
He's going to be on top of that.
Oh, hey, I'm Ailu. I'm vibe swapping today, so if you are, like, bugging out or freaking out, I'm going to go talk to you. No, I don't. I'm going to be keeping stack, watching for questions, direct response.
So if you, once we start with agenda items and proposals, just raise your hand, and she will make sure you are called upon in turn. That way everybody gets a chance to speak. Be gentle. And this is my co-facilitator.
I'm Turtle. I'm just here for helping you if he's overwhelmed.
Okay. At this time, we would like to take announcements from working groups that have announcements. Clarification.
Sorry. We consented upon last week or yesterday only doing like 2-sentence update from each group, and there are no like, I think this about this. I think so. Just
That's not a clarification.
It is a clarification. So don't come up here and.
I'm just kidding. Okay. All working groups, please do not rattle on. Just give us a couple of sentences and concisely state your point. Treasury. Thank you.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, sure.
The Treasury has forms that they'd like to pass out to the heads of the working groups for disbursement of funds. One other item is we'd like to expand the Treasury to a committee, and the co-treasurer is asking, the co-treasurers are asking for a couple of volunteers, preferably one with heavy bookkeeping experience and one with bookkeeping and legal experience. Our fund right now is in 3 figures. As it grows, we will need help to avoid tax issues, liability issues, issues that the co-treasurers are not greatly knowledgeable about. We hope that there are maybe an accounting major who has time on his hands and is in the group who would volunteer to help us, and contact the facilitator to get in touch with the treasurer. Thank you very much.
Wait.
Naomi. Oh, yeah. That's like it, but...
Media stuff. By show of hands, who has given an interview to the media in the last 24 hours? Newspaper, radio. Cool. Sweet. Anyone else?
I didn't myself, but I talked to Martin today, and he said that he was on his way to a radio interview.
Okay, cool. So our good coverage continues.
We got phone
Media working group. Two things. One, we just established a Facebook working group so that we can work online together within a group. So if you're on the media team, please see me and get on that group if you can. Secondly, media working group is we're working on a press advisory for Tuesday, and that's going to be going out in the morning. It's not going to have any philosophical stuff. It's simply going to be we're announcing the rally at City County Plaza on Tuesday, and letting the media know about it. Third thing is, I'm sorry.
About the City County Plaza?
Yes.
I had an article published on Op-Ed News today called OccupyAsheville Update, and it talks about tell everybody to come at 4 o'clock like we talked yesterday, and just kind of gave an update of the week's overview. It's talking about what you're talking about.
Last update is we have some issues with our Facebook pages. I'm sorry? We have some issues with our Facebook pages, which goes through a proposal. We need to make a decision about our Facebook page, and I've taken a lot of heat in the last 24 hours for a decision that the General Assembly made. I'm not willing to do that again until we make a decision. So, thank you.
Other working group.
I'm Scott, and I'm also with the media group. I'm also helping with these petitions that we're trying to get signed. This petition is so that we can take this to the city council on Tuesday. What we're asking for is that they will allow us to continue our 24-hour vigil in solidarity with the group in New York. We want them to allow us to assemble after 10 p.m. because right now there's a curfew in our park that says we all have to be out of the park at 10 p.m. We've done everything we can to stay within the law. This petition is important because not only is it important to have a lot of names on our petition, but once someone has signed this petition, in a sense they've started taking part in our group and they're participating now. So if there's anybody who we only have today and tomorrow and part of Tuesday to get these signed up, so if there's anybody here who would like to have a petition to get signatures forward onto this petition, I'll give them one, but please don't take a petition and take it out unless you mean to actually do something with it. So these are important. So anyone want one? And bring them back to Naomi, who just spoke right before I did. So is there anyone who would like to? I have taken these around. Very few people say no. Out of 30 or 40, you might get 2 people that say no. So
Is that everything?
that's it.
Oh, yeah.
And Dog Food Group. First of all, the food will be arriving at 5 today. Rosetta's bringing it over. Peach, she says. Someone donated a lot of eggs. We'll have vegan and also, we're looking for locations near downtown, people's houses, maybe churches where some of us can go and do cooking. So if anyone has any information willing to offer a cooking set, that'd be great. Donations. Anyone who can solicit donations from any restaurant, store, whatever. Well, it'd be a good idea. We have from some, but you might just ask them. And if they want to call someone, my name is on the list you can find on OccupyAsheville.org as a working group member. Or if anyone has any, the co-op has offered to be a collection point for any food. They can just take it to the co-op.
Y'all have any marijuana?
We don't allow over there. Okay. Other members of the food group with any of these issues, right here, Pam is a member, Sarah's a member. So anyone can have any food questions or any offers they want to make, can go to them. That's it.
Other working groups that have announcements. Anybody else?
That's
One second. Give me 1 second. So that's it.
No, I'm a new member of the flyer group, okay, and the flyer people aren't here today, but I brought one, and I'm just going to give it to you guys, or I don't know, something for about city council for Tuesday that we need to get this word out fast, guys. We only got 2 days to do this for the council meeting. This is just a proposed thing, and you can keep it, and I don't know how to really share it and get a general consensus on this thing, but Victor's not here today, and I really want to get this rolling, okay? Thanks. Oh, you're cool. Let me have that water, Mama.
Okay, no more working groups? No, okay. We're going to open up the floor for a couple of minutes for announcements from anyone. These would entail, if you have already formed a working group, if you have a working group you want to start and want to let everybody know so they can come see you. Only things that pertain to the group as a whole. Definitely no opinions. No opinions. All right. And you can go first. And now we're gonna take stacks if there's more than a few people.
We had an anti-authoritarian, anti-capitalist caucus yesterday at 5. I'm sorry that conflicted with General Assembly. It was hard to work out. But from that, we have formed working groups and the general anti-authoritarian cluster meeting again tomorrow at 5 for anyone interested. Also separately, I have heard many words that there are people going to occupy somewhere regardless of the City Hall decision. I want people to know that.
What's your name and where are you meeting?
My name's Travis. We'll be meeting in Fisher Park, 5 o'clock over there, probably just a little bit separate from the picket group for a second. Thank you. This is sort of affiliated with the liaison group of Cherokee. On Friday night, we got a call from our friends in Cherokee for me and Susan, Dwayne and Delphine to go up to a Buddhist blessing ceremony in Tennessee. So we met our Cherokee friends there. We discussed some things. We mentioned what's happening here. They're very interested. They want to have this conversation more. There will be a place for a delegation from the General Assembly to go meet with them. I'm not sure that time is yet, but it will be shortly. That's just my personal opinion. And related to that is I am proposing today, based on the Boston Solidarity with Indigenous Peoples resolution that was passed yesterday, I have a modified version for Asheville with some changes that actually make it sound a little more traditional to Indigenous people. And so I have a proposal for Occupy Asheville Solidarity with Indigenous Peoples statement to pass or review or whatever. Thank you.
Pam Sendog speaking for Rosetta. I have some, she's over cooking, but she's very actively involved. She had a few announcements. First of all, there's a union meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. She's going to, and she'd like 2 or 3 people to go with her to present what we're doing to them to try to draw them into our movement.
Who is that?
The union. I don't know which union. It's 6 p.m. tomorrow. Maybe media. You can see media could coordinate that. Also, she's going to San Francisco next week, and she's going to visit, our brothers and sisters there, and she'd like an announcement that she could read from Asheville. I thought maybe our opening here would do, but also that. She also has a proposal that camping be put towards the end of the agenda because a lot of people here aren't campers or new to the community, find it a little cumbersome to go through. So that's her proposal to be discussed.
Are there any friendly amendments to that proposal?
Camping, I think, should stay at the beginning of the agenda because then people will know where to camp. I don't know. It's important. It really doesn't matter if it's forward and back because the aspect of it. My name is Trinidad. My friendly or direct response to that, it doesn't really matter because the aspect of truly camp, you're going to be here anyway. Alright, I'm cool.
We actually talked yesterday at the GA, and sort of the consensus was we would try to leave it towards the end unless the meeting started running late. And if it was running later in the day, then we would go ahead and cover that issue before the meeting ended.
Okay. Are there any blocks to moving camping to the last agenda item? Consensus. Yeah. Okay. Any more announcements?
I have a question regarding the proposal that we review the solidarity with Native peoples. Can I make a movement that it's added to the agenda and that it's read aloud and discussed?
Not if I have to read it.
I'll read it if I have to.
Any friendly amendments to this proposal? Any blocks?
I think it's a great idea.
Any blocks? By all means.
I have an announcement, I guess. Starting a picket work group regarding the picket and procedures with the picket. So anyone who wants to participate in that, just meet me. Amanda, where? Just after the General Assembly. I have a few people who already have talked about it, and we're just forming the group, so the announcement goes so loud.
Okay, Amanda.
I'm starting a welcoming group, which is like, we're just going to be here, and like, if people are just like wandering around, like wondering what we're doing, it's like, just go around and just say hi, what we're doing, this and that, stuff like that. And interact with people like around the surrounding area, because I see lots of people around here just like staring. And you're just, like,
I
wondering.
think we have.
I have a direct response.
Yeah. In addition.
That's great. That's one person. I agree that there needs to be multiple people. I have me, her, and I have 2 other people.
Direct response. They're putting my name up on the website, and I've taken on helping with the welcoming committee as well, and it's kind of free form. Keep it open, and people deserve to be welcomed if they arrive. That's all. Everyone is part of the welcoming committee. Be nice.
That way when people just come up and they're like, hey, what's going on? You can be like, bam.
Quick response.
Then engage.
We actually do have that. It's a great big piece of poster board, and I hope it's up there.
But no one can stick that in their pocket and take that home and just ponder over the dinner table.
There's a website called whatistheplan.org. It's based off of the anonymous
groups. It's worldwide. It will help everyone get involved with everything. It will help everyone get like more organized with what's going around in all the Occupy in every city. It's a forum site, so you can go on there and post what's happening here in Asheville. Other people will comment on it and allow you to like mingle with, and it'll help you get more organized and deal with other people around the country. Whatistheplan.org. Real quick, for that website, it's what is dash the plan?
What is -theplan.org? Yeah.
Any other announcements?
Follow up on that, there's also Occupy Together. It's not anonymous space, but that should be looked into. And that links to meetup.com. And they state numbers based on people that have signed in. And right now, Asheville is showing numbers far below the reality. So if people can go sign in, show that we are 100+.
Any more announcements? Okay, before we go on, as far as things that happened yesterday, I don't have the notes from yesterday, so I'm not able to go over that. However, I do just want to add that we camped in front of the federal building last night to what I would consider a great success. The police didn't mess with us, and we were really able to we got people were honking all night long because we had our signs up until like 4 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, it was pretty great all the way around. Even the feds showed up and were totally cool with us being there. As long as we didn't go one more foot that way.
Makes them easier to keep an eye on it.
Okay, so unless there's anything else, we're going to move on to the agenda point.
Hooray!
Oh, okay, so for stack today, we're going to try something new. And when I point at you, I'm going to have a number on it. If there gets to be a lot of questions, we're going to number them. Point at you with a 1, you're 1, with a 2, you're 2, and if you could just keep your hand up when it's your turn, so we can all keep with the numbers on your fingers. If I point at you with 2, let's put a 2 up so that we can all keep track of the order.
Okay, so the agenda items today are, and not necessarily in this order, are camping, public denunciation, nonviolence, / self-defense, and to read the solidarity statement with indigenous people. Do we have any other proposed agenda items before we go on? Okay, we're going to start with public denunciation. Is there anyone here, or the person that proposed that, are they here from yesterday? Okay, it appears what was that? Yeah. From what I was able to take a quick jot from the internet was that people didn't like the word denunciation. No denunciation in the what? Oh. How much time do we want to
5 minutes.
5 minutes under? 10? 5. For what? Oh, okay. Well, hang on. 1 second.
Is this regarding what we adopted yesterday as our unified, what we did agree on?
I don't know. It said, on the notes it said that it was tabled.
No, yeah, I know. I
Yes,
can
please.
speak to what happened yesterday if you want.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Excellent. I don't have the notes of what if I did it.
Unfortunately, we're without notes. Yesterday, we actually did agree on 4 to 5 principles that we could all agree on, and they were things like having a clear and alert mind. And we were able to say that we committed to seek peaceful resolution to conflict. There were 2 things that were specifically omitted, and those 2 items were tabled until later, which is what is the definition of violence and does self-defense qualify?
Oh, wait.
That's what the nonviolent self-defense part was. And there were two specific clauses. One was the definition of nonviolence and whether it included self-defense. The other was that we will not publicly denounce one another. And that was tabled until later, too, to decide what are the fractions, what are the groups, how does that apply. I personally don't believe that we're at the place to be able to resolve those two. I made an amendment at the very end that we would leave the document open to interpretation, and it was passed. Those things were tabled till a later date. I move that we continue to table them for a little while.
No, it was passed that it was tabled.
It was,
yes,
the
it was
enunciation was tabled, and the definition of nonviolence were tabled. There was at least 4, and a 5th that I proposed, that was that the document was open to later interpretation and could be changed, that were definitely passed.
Yes.
One, we will keep an alert and clear mind. 2, that we will agree to seek peaceful resolution to conflict. And I don't know the others, guys. Sorry, I didn't have them out. But it was basically keeping it very simple.
Right.
So we started with 4 or 5 that we could agree on. We tabled what the definition of violence was, and we tabled what denouncing each other meant.
That's
what happened yesterday.
So maybe we can.
And I think
You got a couple of words that would be good for enunciation? They just mean the same thing?
Humiliating them, trying to
Did you hear what he said?
I got it. He said that the denunciation, the deriding the rate is more means belittle. And yeah. Louder.
Someone else brought that up yesterday.
I feel like this can still be tabled though, even though we'll add this to the notes.
Yeah, I make a motion that we table it until the crafters of the document are present. That was Claire, and I believe Michael is his name, Mr. I have locks but not dreads, I think. But without both of them here who crafted and spent countless hours upon the document, I think we should table it.
I have a similar proposal, but I think they should actually take the fact that at the table and go for a complete rewrite, keeping the 5 that were passed on. And instead of wasting our time talking about things, bring a fresh down to stage.
I would direct response that we work through the work group instead of wasting time.
I agree. Direct response is that we just didn't have that copy. Or, you know, to let us know that.
But even if we had,
I was going to work in a meeting right now and find out.
I was just gonna say that we should. I was just gonna say that we should also table it because the people that wrote it aren't here.
Yeah. And I was just going to question and make sure that a working group was working on the issue. We weren't just tabling. So they are.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that pretty much takes care of everything except camping and read the solidarity statement, unless there are any other agenda items, which if you do come up with one, let us know after we've taken care of these. Since we want to put camping to the end, Venice, if you would come down and read the solidarity statement.
Nobody else, it's not mine. Does anybody else want to? I'm just being a loudmouth.
Somebody else wants to read it.
We can hear it. Anybody read it?
Sure. I don't know.
You want me to read it for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, you're down.
10 minutes, everybody. Is that good for everybody? Okay, 10 minutes it is.
Okay, everybody pay attention. Everybody like to listen.
Okay. Resolution. Occupy Asheville. Solidarity with Indigenous peoples. Those participating in Occupy Asheville assert the following understanding. We acknowledge the United States of America as a colonial country and that we are guests upon stolen indigenous land that has already been occupied for centuries, Asheville being the ancestral land of the Cherokee people. And we acknowledge members of the First Nations have continued to resist the violent oppression and exploitation of the colonizers since they first arrived on this continent, and as a result have a great amount of experience that could strengthen this movement. And we acknowledge First Nations people continue to assert their sovereign rights of land, language, lifeway, and culture under natural law. And we acknowledge, after centuries of disregard for the welfare of future generations and the consistent disrespect and exploitation of the earth, we find ourselves on a polluted and disturbed planet, lacking the wisdom to love and honor the community of life. Therefore be it. We are resolved to seek the consent and involvement of the First Nations in the rebuilding of a new society on their ancestral land that honors our interconnectedness, as well as indigenous efforts to retain, protect, and revive their traditional cultures and lifeways. And, as a further signal to the national Occupy movement and the members of First Nations who have felt excluded by the colonist language used to name this movement, it shall be declared that Occupy Asheville aspires to decolonize Asheville with the guidance and participation of First Nations people. And, recognizing the interconnected nature of our lives, we extend an open hand of humility and friendship, and hereby invite members of the First Nations to join us in this popular uprising now taking place across this continent, while at the same time standing in solidarity with the issues critical to their survival. We wish to further the process of healing and reconciliation and implore Indigenous peoples to share their understanding, experience, and guidance as they see fit, so as to help us restore true freedom and democracy and initiate a new era of peace and cooperation that will work for everyone, including the earth and the original inhabitants of this land. And we hereby declare that Columbus Day should be referred to as Indigenous Peoples Day.
The amendment.
I move to accept it.
And which we need open staff.
Can I?
Sorry.
Point of clarification.
Does that mean that it would no longer be called Occupy Asheville, but would be called Colonize Asheville?
No, we would still be called Occupy Asheville, but within Indigenous peoples who are looking at the Occupy movement, they're framing it in terms of decolonize, like there's been decolonize Wall Street, decolonize Boston, decolonize Oakland, even. Sure.
So can you explain just for everybody what the implications are when you say decolonize?
So I think in this context, colonization can mean a lot of things. In this context, I think what it means is that we acknowledge that for most of us, our ancestors have taken this land forcefully without consent. And so by decolonizing, we accept that fact and seek to end the dynamic that colonizer mindset creates by stealing and violently appropriating and taking things that don't belong to us. And so I think in that context, what it means is that we stop perpetuating those dynamics that take and steal and appropriate without consent. That's really, decolonization can mean a lot deeper things than that, but in this case, that's really what it translates to.
Thanks.
Yes, I would just like to say that I read today, the whole thing, not just that the Boston people put out, but also all the comments that went after it, and it was passed at the very tail end of their assembly, and there were not very many people there, and there are a lot of people unhappy that it passed because of this. This movement is about unity. This movement is not about warring, and there is, there's some terminology about warriors, and I love the indigenous I have Cherokee blood. I follow the traditions of the Andean Quero people and have been to Peru. And the indigenous peoples everywhere are dear to my heart. I have a relationship with the earth and everything. But all I'm saying is that this is very complicated. And before we make pass whatever it is we're doing at this point and have something, I think that we need to understand all the parts of it. We need to understand all the parts of it. It's complicated. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Can you make a friendly amendment yet?
We gotta get back. There's a lot of.
I need to put that in.
No. You want more? Okay. We are indeed friendly amendment. The friendly amendment to this, the declaration. Yeah.
I was just gonna come, but that's not. Okay.
No friendly amendment.
So people can hear. I'm not trying to be anybody. Upon my first reading, I had this stumbling block over decolonization. I am having enough trouble in my own personal life trying to educate people about what Occupy is about and trying to get people interested in just Occupy, get out and do something. And I can't imagine trying to educate people about Occupy and decolonize at the same time. Again, I love my red brothers. I got red blood in me, but it's just too confusing an issue when most people don't even understand why we're here to start with. And I'd say my friendly amendment is just table that part of it.
Yes. We're not, I don't think that we're saying that we're changing the name of the movement from Occupy to Decolonize. What we're doing is just adding that as something that we're saying. We're not changing the name. I'm sorry, Kern. It's okay.
Hey, I was for all this kind of, if he was going to say what he was going to say, then what I was going to say would have been more of a direct response than a negative response. So but I pulled myself out because it wasn't a direct response to exactly a friendly amendment. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was just...
Okay, right now.
Friendly amendment is
Right now, what this woman was talking about is true. The amendment is good. The decolonize one I'm referring to. But what she said is true, and what she said just proved it. It's complicated, therefore, you need to fall back on the speaking and the creativity of the group, the input from everybody to clarify the complicated issue. And she's right, and decolonization proposal is a good one, but we need to discuss.
Thank you.
Tom, how much more do you want to discuss?
We're at time. How much longer do we want to spend on this?
15 minutes?
5 minutes? 10, because I see it physically going 10 at least. So.
Let's get down to the
Like you said, if the issue is other cities that have already adopted the name decolonize, no, not regarding a replacement for Occupy, but as a way to communicate with Native Americans, then by having the name, it increases the solidarity of the Native Americans in the nation, so long as our sector clarifies what we mean by it.
I think that nobody's saying that we're trying to become them, or this means this is our action statement. It is a simple thing to acknowledge the fact that what she says is simple, documented, understood, nationally taught in our every education system, that we did this. This is a statement of solidarity with oppressed peoples who, by the way, have hundreds of years of experience in doing what we're trying to accomplish. If we are to occupy, we might want to turn to people who have the wisdom of tribal cultures. It is arrogant to act as though we are inventing this wheel. Tribal people lived well in balance with the earth for 1,000,000 years before any of us got here. Wake up! Well, yeah, I guess if everybody else gets to speak, I get to speak. So-called a friendly amendment. Listening to that statement, I was standing up there, and in the beginning of the statement gave me chills. I cried the whole time I was standing up there because it reconciles the pain and suffering of the North American continent of people. If we are to become one unity on earth, we need to first look what's inside of our own country and reconcile and heal the hurt people for centuries. I mean, it only works if we can't reconcile love, respect, and help heal people that do indeed deserve some sort of people along the way in our culture, somewhere that has to be aligned within our ancestors and to say we understand and we are sorry and we can be one. Otherwise we never will be. It'll always be like this. And it's just like a relationship. If you can't heal your relationship or yourself, you can't definitely heal your whole family.
Okay,
hey, we're going to pray for a temperature check. How does everyone feel about this?
We need ups and downs.
Ups and downs?
We need more discussion.
Everybody let us know how you feel.
Then let's discuss.
So I see a lot of, splits going on. Do we want to spend more time on this? Do we want to move? No more time?
More time. You guys want to table this or not?
I have
More time.
And we need more time. We don't need a motion. We need more time.
No, we have time.
Okay, all right.
Just table that
If we take
phrase.
If we take this to consensus, just out of curiosity, are there going to be any direct blocks? Curious.
Sorry, we have to finish that first.
No, we can finish what we haven't said.
Yeah, this is the next stack, and you
Officer, look here for 6 years. Can he come down in front?
Yeah, could you come down here?
My name is Rob. I've lived here for 6 years. I'm grateful to be here in these mountains, this Cherokee Nation. I appreciate the decolonized statement, the spirit of it. But I think this whole movement, this is a huge movement. I've been waiting for this for years.
Yes.
I'm so angry with what's happening with our country and our welfare, our future. My dream is drifting away, and all I can think of is, all I have left is to get in the streets and yell and scream.
We'll get back on
until
the
people
phone.
start listening. So, I don't think that there's a great deal of wisdom in a decolonizing statement. If we're going to do that, we might as well talk about the African Americans that we brought to our country. I mean, where does that end? What I think we need nationwide, worldwide, is a core statement of what this represents, this movement represents.
Movement represents everybody, especially the people that were here. Solidarity.
I'm not saying that.
Stack, guys, stack.
Okay.
Come on, that's
Thanks.
good.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We've gotten out of process. We were supposed to be having friendly amendments. Now we're having passionate discussion. If we want to have a passionate discussion, we should stay within our thing. So I'd like to make an amendment that we have passionate discussion and we set a time limit, have our passionate discussion, and then move on. So we can't stay here all day giving our opinions.
I feel hate. I'm sorry to say. I feel like
So that's if we have a proposal.
My proposal is
that
that
we
we
dedicate an amount of time and in stack passionately discuss this for say 5 minutes. and then move on to either a consensus or a table.
I got something to say with that.
Okay, start the time, please.
5 minutes for discussion.
5 minutes for discussion.
All right, 5 more minutes.
Do we want to let the person who wrote it start?
What about that?
Whatever.
I'd like to say, I'm not against it, I'm not for it. I would like to have some time to review it, and I would wonder if other people would like that time to just let it process and read what it says. I went to the bathroom, so I probably missed it, but that's okay. I didn't really make the call. There are other people who perhaps aren't here, and also maybe they need a little time to process, so that's what I'm saying.
I agree. Then for 4 days.
Not with this.
Not everybody.
Okay, so I'm going to passionately discuss. My name is Karen, and I feel like we do need all of these people to be involved. There's nothing wrong with having a solidarity statement with Native people. There's nothing wrong with having a solidarity statement with Latinos. There's nothing wrong with having a solidarity statement with African Americans and gays and lesbians and short people and tall people and green people and who freaking cares?
How about good looking people?
Right, and ugly people. So for me, that's not what this is about. Having a solidarity statement with one person or not another person or whatever. It is about everybody. That's what we said. So if that's the case, this may be just our first solidarity statement. Maybe next we'll have a solidarity statement about being with the African Americans or
Latinos.
The Latinos. But the thing that really frustrates me is when people say we need to talk about it. That's what we're here doing. Woo! We're talking. If you're not here, then you're not talking. You're online, and I get it. People work, people have stuff. I have stuff. I work. I can't always be here. But I'm here right now, and we can discuss while we're here. And that's really important to do instead of just say, I don't know what to do, let's not talk about it, let's table it until another time. While we're here, let's talk about it while we can. That's what this whole movement's about. It's not about having one statement. Because there's 1,000 people with 1,000 different requests here, all saying this is messed up and it's not okay. So let's see what we can do about it. Let's talk about it right now.
Okay, sorry, we have like 6 on staff right now. Natalie, yeah. Okay, Natalie, then Naomi, then we're starting here. My name is Natalie. What I'm seeing right now, I haven't really thought this thing that I'm trying to express through, so bear with me real quickly. What I'm seeing right now is a lot of I think and me and mine, and basically I'm seeing a lot of ego involved, and that's not what we're here for. We're here for change. We're not here for, like, if you want to be on the soapbox, then you can do that. You can express your personal opinion at a certain time, but this is not the place for ego. This is the General Assembly. It's a place of democracy and consent. It's a place to set your ego aside. All right? I cannot fathom any reason why we would not want to align ourselves with the Native people.
We're not saying we're not aligning. We don't like that word.
Frankly, you're putting words in everybody's mouth.
Hey, get on the stack, guys! Hey!
Okay.
Chaos.
All right. Everybody that wants to speak, please come up and form a line.
Uh-oh. Oh, God. Yeah, floodgates. We had a short agenda, though. Yeah, I know. Did you just see what happened?
Just wait till we have to hit the 2 minutes and then yell time.
I got it.
All right.
Wow.
So,
I'm going to say wow.
I am not the only author of this document. The other author of this document is sitting to my right in a red shirt.
Uh-oh.
Do you know who that is? That man that's been trying to help us for the last week and a half. That man and I travel around this country
and I go across to Europe, and we train people on this very thing. Not just white people, we work with native nations on this very thing. These words are not randomly chosen. There's meaning to each and every one of them, especially the ones that were changed from the Boston document. One of those words is decolonization. Because from a native perspective, decolonization is the word. If you take away that word, what you're saying is, we don't actually really care that that's the most important thing that you want from white people. And I understand that the word is new to some people. I understand that. I understand it has a meaning that's hard to get sometimes. I explained what it meant.
Great word.
It has a meaning within other cultures that is so important. So if we remove that word, especially as people watch this streaming video, and they're going to see us go through this process, we will look ridiculous to certain cultures. I'm just saying.
Let it be.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
On that note, we are out of time. Do we want to add 5 more minutes to passionate discussion?
No.
Yes.
I have a friendly amendment. Okay, I think the consensus is to add 5 minutes.
Please keep it to a minimum.
Really quick.
Please, everyone's voices need to be heard.
One more thing really quick. Please don't push this off.
Thank you.
Please don't push this off.
Okay. Set the time for 5 more minutes. Go.
I have a friendly amendment. If you agree with the overarching message, and if your only problem is to decolonize, then that we make clear what that means here and what it does not mean, so that people know. But we need to vote on this so that communication, the line of communication, can be started now, because this is that important.
So I kind of just have I'm just really confused as to what the big, like the dual thing is happening here. So I kind of propose that if you're not sure or you have something that upsets you about the proposal in the paper, is find someone who understands it, find a First Nation person to talk to about it, and maybe you can understand what it means, because it's like sometimes as a culture, as a group of majorities, we have what we want as a majority, and then when it's like out of line with what we want, it's like too big of a fight, and we can't like stretch out. But this is for everybody. This is not just for the white people who have already taken over. This is for everybody. So to stand in solidarity, all we're saying is we want to stand in solidarity with them. We're not like taking over. They're not. It's just everybody. You love everybody. I'm a Cherokee and a shaman as well. And I work with both the Celtic and Native American traditions. And I'm a weaver in that, which means that I weave multiple traditions together. And I am not for, I can't talk any louder than this. This is my voice. I am not for separatist agendas or languages that create the sense that we're not all human beings here. With equal rights that should have been instilled and equal respect that should have been there to begin with. I feel like to some degree it is disempowering when we talk about we need to include the Mexicans, or we need to include the blacks, or we need to include the Native Americans. We need to stand by them. They have their own empowering process to go through in these things. We are not, they're conduits or facilitators for personal strength that is theirs and that is theirs to own. And they are doing that, and where that needs to be activated perhaps more, that is for them to show up and to activate their own communities, not for us to decide how to do that for them. That in itself is disempowering, it is condescending, and is incorrect. That's how I feel about it.
I have a direct response. Just a clarification, I think that the person that is here is representing the Native American community.
Well, there's more than one Native American person here.
No, I'm saying the person that is standing here reading this whatever it's called, solidarity statement, is a person representing no, it's a clarification because she said that somebody shouldn't come here and make a statement that isn't theirs to make. But it is this person's to make because she is a member of that community. Clarification.
I have a clarification. All right, with this solidarity statement, who reached out to who exactly? Was it on were we reaching out to the Native community by making the statement, or were they reaching out to us?
So since Occupy Wall Street started, many Native people have been disgruntled by the name Occupy Wall Street and Occupy everything because this land is already occupied by white people, for the most part. So, many Native people step back from this process, particularly Native activists, because they don't see the word decolonize. They want there to be an understanding of decolonization in terms of this movement that says it represents the 99%. And so what's happened over the last several weeks is that Native people have joined into the process and offered to decolonize Wall Street, and now there's decolonize Oakland, decolonize Boston, there's decolonize Asheville on my page. And in certain places, Native peoples are starting to get involved. Here, for one. Here's one of the very first examples, along with Wall Street. Now, in Seattle, and we just found out in Albuquerque, right, Big Brother? Albuquerque.
Nice.
This is a process that's happening, but what it takes is something like this.
Okay. I personally propose we add 5 minutes to this to get through the people in stack and then take a 5-minute break. Yeah. Whatever. But it's not my decision. Anybody have a problem with that?
No, I think we should go on. Why don't we just ask the Cherokee Nation to join us?
We are. And we're in the process of doing it.
That's the
right
statement.
now.
It's being
We're
made.
3 him at the Cherokee
That's
Reservation.
what this is pretty much determining right here.
Yes, this is going to help
Kind
that.
of a big freaking
We're
deal.
taking this to them. Okay.
I'm part Cherokee. I've been working ceremonies for a long time as well. I consider myself a shaman as well. This has been going on for a long time, and the indigenous people all around the world are empowered. They've been going through the process for longer than we have. They're ready. That's why we're coming together. That's the whole message of the solidarity statement. And that's why there's over 1,000 cities in the world, because we're ready. We are empowered. And the whole message of this whole thing is unity. And whatever it takes to get down to that core, that's what we're shooting for. So it's not very complicated. It doesn't have to be any harder than we really want to make it. We're already one. We just have to make it merge. And however we have to do that, the more people, whatever group, just say yes. It's that easy. And every ceremony, it doesn't matter how you go about your ceremony, the whole goal of healing is to be at one with yourself and to be at one with creation. It's oneness. It's always been here. We've just forgotten, and we're remembering. And whether you want to call it decolonization or revitalization, whatever you want to call it, that's what's going on. And we are already on our way. We just have to do it. That's all.
Woo! I'm going to try one last time. As are these people. I'm Native by birth. I was adopted. I carry Native blood. I carry no Native affiliation, no tribe. I am tribeless. I am trained in the traditions of my earth-loving white ancestors. Everybody, if you go back to Neolithic era, has earth-loving tribal ancestors. Black, white, red, yellow, purple, green, everyone. What this is a statement of solidarity with people who are oppressed. And if we can't agree that we are not in solidarity with people who are oppressed, we may stay stalemated. The last thing is, I was as frustrated as you. I see these movements, I wanted to knit them together into a strong rope that I could do something with. And then I realized, we're all on the same plane of consciousness. Parallel movements, slowly converging. This is a convergence point. How long will we ask someone of this stature, ability, experience to stand by and offer us a gift that we endlessly debate like fools?
Woo!
I'm Spirit Song. I'm going to try this again. I am totally and completely in favor of solidarity. I honor the traditions, and I am thankful that the Native people want to join with us. I was here at a meeting earlier where there was some sharing from our brothers about them being with us to come in and protect us. There was the word warriors used, and I'm confused about what that means. My only concern at all is that this is a peaceful thing. And if we could have him speak to that and have some clarification about what that is.
This is not about warriors.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, maybe
Well, let's have a direct response to that. Can somebody...
Okay, direct response.
We got one already. Thanks, Sarah.
Sure, we'll do it.
We might be too worried just about the word. Are you aware of the Second Amendment to the Constitution? It says here, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state.
Yeah.
The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. A well-regulated militia, that might be another word for warrior. Nobody here is armed, including our big brother.
Right. I just wanted to be clear, if there was any misunderstanding, that I am totally for unity with all people as here. And that was the only thing that I was concerned about with what I heard the other night.
I have no indigenous blood in me whatsoever. I come from the European tribes. I was born here, and I consider myself a Native American. This is the land I stand on. For a couple hundred years now, European culture has been insisting, not asking, but insisting that a certain people learn from us. And they have learned from us. They've learned, they've been to our schools, they've been to our armies, they've been through our politics, they've learned from our diseases, they've learned all the things of our ways. I think it's time, when I got down here and I saw that there was a human being here with us, I was really happy to see that because these human beings, they're not just something that we see in movies. Most of us Europeans, we think of a group of dark-skinned people running across the desert somewhere being chased by the cavalry. There were millions of people here before we got here. We didn't kill them, then we re-educated them. I've spent some time in my life trying to learn from everyone I meet, including all of you. The other day when I heard this human being speak, it reminded me of something that I needed to be reminded. The thing that he reminded me was that it's very hard as a European to even get my head around the concept of being free. We have been told what to do for thousands of years. We're used to being told what to do. We're used to following the orders. I would like all of us to consider, and I know that I'm going to, learning something from someone who has something to teach us. And there is some people who have a lot to teach us right now, and I would really ask all of you to take not more just a moment, but quite a while to consider the concept of your own freedom. Freedom is a very large thing, and it's very hard to get your head around. Thank you.
We've got these last two, and then we're going to move on. Nobody else, please come down to the side.
Well, that can be said what I was going to say. I want to say it in a little different way, though, because this is a normal part of these kind of movements, okay? Is that when things like this start, basically, other groups get asked, do you endorse this, okay? And this is all part of that process, the unification process. Groups need to decide whether they endorse our action or whether they don't. And part of that is this process that's going on right now. So in a little different words, not just solidarity, it's unification. It's not just a solidarity statement, it's a unification statement. And instead of having to go through the same thing with every other group, like meeting with the unions tomorrow or whatever else, we need to just make sure that we're getting endorsements and creating unity.
I think what the problem is basically just about the word occupation is certain groups of people are offended and sensitive to certain words. We have never had our land occupied by a foreign government or nation, so therefore we don't understand that occupy might be a sensitive word to people that have. If you say occupy Iraq, well, what are we doing over there? So if they want to call it whatever they want to call it, we all have the same idea. Just because we don't use the same word for everything doesn't really make a difference to me.
Woo! Okay, at this time, we have a long trip over time. I would like to get a temperature check on the word decolonization in the proposal.
Meaning, if you consider that you're okay with the word decolonization in the proposal. Is there disconsensus?
Try a vote on it.
Vote.
I have a proposal for a different word. I mean,
Decolonization is better than occupy, but I think that we can do better.
We've got 2 blocks
Not
of
we.
the word. Okay, do we have consensus on this document? Any blocks?
That's not consensus. That's
We
not
have
90%.
Freaking break!
I suppose you guys stop putting so many fucking hairs to the general thing. Don't use such big words.
Clapping is good. Yes, Jade, clapping.
Come on now.
Okay, the last item on the agenda is camping. Now, before we get into camping, which should be pretty quick discussion. That's been tabled. After we deal with the camping agenda item, before we call the end of the GA, we are going to open up for a couple of more announcements. Okay, that's it. I just want to let everybody know, once we're done with this agenda item, don't run away. A couple people have something to say. Okay, so it's camping. Now, last night we camped in front of the federal building to great success. We had the sergeant or the lieutenant for the evening, APD, whatever they're called, show up, and a federal officer show up, and did not have any problem with where we were camping. Not only that, but we had great visibility, and we were able to talk to people all night long, up until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It was great. Now, with that in mind, that's the first proposal, is that we continue camping in front of the federal building. Are there any other proposals about camping? Awesome.
Just make sure people that are new here know that this is an issue for the campers to vote on.
As a generalization, this is for campers to vote on. Yes, please. Well, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I just had a comment. I hear rain's coming later on, either tonight or in the morning, tomorrow. So we're going to have to take consideration.
As a direct response, he said that it's the possibility of rain. We have lots of tarps. However, Jen Foster is currently in discussion with Jubilee to find out if we can take their space if we get sound poured on. We don't have a word back on that. I won't know till later, but we'll have a smaller GA for just campers at camp later tonight where that can be worked out. So, We have a consensus on the single and only proposal to camp in front of the federal building. And in block. Yeah. That was the easiest item ever. Okay. Now, anybody who has a final announcement to make before the end of the GA, please step forward. Feel free to form a line.
How many campers were there last night?
About 20.
Just as a clarification to anybody who is here, or if you know anybody that might come at a later date, tomorrow and for the rest of the week, we will be meeting here at 5. We will have a picket at 5:30, and the General Assembly will be at 7 for Monday through Friday. Weekends, unless there are other things happening here, we meet at 1, we picket at 1:30, and then we have the GA at 3.
We have a clarification over here.
Clarification on the Monday to Friday. That's only our GA on Fridays is actually over there at.
Oh, thank you, Trinidad. So Trinidad says the GA on Fridays is actually at TAC because of the drum circle. Thank you, Trinidad. Come here, Miss Fern. I'm sorry.
I have an announcement real quick, especially if you're camping or if you're just here all day for a picket and then the GA and then another picket or whatever. Drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. Oh, and drink a whole lot of water.
Hey,
We just got a donation, and there are places around the city to get water. So I guess my announcement was drink a lot of water.
Hey, Oslo, do you want to ask for other people to hold that sign during the meeting?
Are there any other proposals for working group? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, hey, hey guys, my name is Michael, and I'm going to start a working group that's basically going to be a liaison between our movement and people who are currently incarcerated who might stand in solidarity with us. Prison abolition should be a concern. It is basically the slavery of today, so if anyone's interested in helping me out, I'll be around. I'm camping, so, you'll see me. Thank you.
Okay, I have one more thing, and it's based...
One quick question. Is there outreach group? I can't seem to find them.
Oh, I'm not sure who they are, but there is one.
Okay. Is there anybody here I can talk to about it?
Direct response.
I'm on the outreach group.
There you go.
Thank you. I'll get with you.
Okay. Okay. Do you have something to say, or are you just waving hi? How you doing? The only agenda item that is not on here that just came up, we can definitely put it on the agenda for tomorrow, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, unless perhaps somebody wants to add it for today. I agree, but throwing it out there anyway. The proposal is that we move GA times to before 7 o'clock because it gets so dark, and at the very least, our live streaming is completely pitch black, and you can't see anything. Not only that, it's almost impossible to keep stacked because you can't see people's hands, and everybody gets frustrated, and it's cold. And we always run like 3 hours, so it's like pushing the limit to get done before the end. Anyway, that's the proposal. We can definitely table this until tomorrow unless there are enough people who would like to continue this discussion now. Like a vibes check.
Do you guys want to talk about this?
I have a friendly amendment. 6 o'clock?
The time change is about to happen.
Oh.
So it's going to be the same time.
Right.
Who doesn't want to talk about this?
We're talking about mine.
So basically no one voted.
I feel like I saw hands up and down. So given that there's a general people on this side over here. All right, we're going to table this until tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it tomorrow. The agenda item has been tabled until tomorrow, and so unless there are any other announcements, the GA is officially over. You don't have to go home. You don't get Is anyone interested in facilitation meeting? Training? No! To be trained as a facilitator to come do this? That's me!
Why is it important to be trained as a facilitator?
So we don't have to do it! That's not you.
It's important to be trained as a facilitator, not only to be a facilitator, but to be a better member of this General Assembly.
We have one more announcement. One more announcement. In approximately 20 minutes from now, meeting over here, if there's not another group, two of us will begin some form of basic nonviolent training introduction, and we can meet over here in 20 minutes. Just to remind you that some of us will begin to do that. Everyone's invited. It may not be what everyone wants to do, but we'll have a discussion about it over here. One more
Happy
announcement,
birthday
please.
for John Lennon! Today is John Lennon's birthday!
Woo! Announcement. Somebody that knows Caleb, please tell Caleb to get in touch with Wendy at WTVM FM radio. He wants to talk to Caleb about an interview on the radio. Get a hold of Wendy.
Caleb's right there.
I'm a friend of Wendy Owen.